Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name is Harry Tumwatko. Welcome to our program. When we start this show, that last statement I make, I don't know if you catch it, it says you are what you watch. You know what happens there is you are what you watch, you are what you listen to, and you are what you hear. So in other words, we're only as good as an analytical person based on what we know and what comes to us. So if we don't have the right information, wala rin, useless. Dakdak ka ng dakdak, wala ka naman naiintindihan gaano. So, information is key into understanding and being not only intelligent, but being analytical so that when you do open your mouth, you make more sense and you can inform other people, if not improve the education, the information that goes around. Now, what do we know about media? Media, basically, tradition, it's TV, radio, print. Dyaryo, nagbabasa ng dyaryo. Ang dyaryo, nagbabasa, ano kalaban ng dyaryo? Internet. So basically, pwede na kasi nababasa mo rin sa internet, nababasa mo sa computer, yung dyaryo, babasahin mo. So basically, your eyes are working, but you can't do two things at the same time. You can probably drink a soft drink and have a little coffee, but every time you miss, baka ang kape pumunta sa necktie mo, sa shirt mo. So ingat ka, titigil ka muna, kakain ka muna, bawi na naman. In radio, it's basically what you hear. You can now do couple of things. You may tune in and tune out. It's easier. And radio is normally the media used on the last point of purchase. You know, the last thing you hear, you're buying something in the supermarket and they're telling you, ito, bili mo itong yo-yo nito, magaling to para sa'yo. And nare-recall mo, oh wow, okay yung yo-yo na yun. That's how it works. Now, the most expensive medium and most popular is obviously audio-video, which is TV, which is what you're viewing now. But there are other medias you and I are not aware of, which are just as effective, used by many, not necessarily just products and services, even politicians. For example, leaflets, di ba? Oh, pakilala mo kung sino ako. Kasi hari itong bag ko, tumatakbo ako ng Kongreso sa Muntinlupa. Basahin mo leaflet ko. Parang ganon. Then you also have signages. Signboards are the ones that tell you, exit. Pag kasunog yun, nakailaw yun. That's required by law. But also to tell you, there's a toilet here, or this is in operation, it's open, it's closed, or there's a big sale, and that sort of thing. And then you have the posters. Oh, we all love posters because that's where you find out what is for free, what's on discount, and whatnot. These are short-term documents that are hung in front of you to advise you, to inform you of things that are going on. Then, of course, we have the very contestable, alam mo naman tawag dito, yung mga billboards, di ba? Pinag-away-awayan natin yan kasi yung lumakas ang hangin, nagbagsakan, nag-away-away tuloy. Now, billboards can beautify a street. In fact, it can even light it. But it can also wreck the street and make it ugly. Now, the issue here is, there are many issues rather, and there's the legal issue, there's the regulation, then there's the ad board or the content versus the people whose businesses rely on the billboards. In this program, we will talk about signages. Signs that are created out of house. It can be a box light, it can be posters, and it can be for big billboards. Ideally, especially for those who are getting ready for the elections, hey, this is one medium you need to reach out to. This is also possibly the most affordable and most effective medium. It's called billboards. Now, with us to talk about these issues is nonetheless, to my extreme right, we have Attorney Joe Valle, who is the president of the Outdoor Advertising Association of the Philippines. Right next to him, we've got Mr. Frank Abueva, who is chairman this time of the Outdoor Advertising Association of the Philippines, but is also with the ad board. And we've got the entrepreneur, a really crazy man who's come up with new ideas in animation. His name is Chris Chua of Animated Science. Gentlemen, maraming salamat for being with us. Alam mo kasi importante malaman din ng taong bayan nakikinig. Ang signboard, billboard, maraming issue rin yan. Mas lalo na ngayon, ano? Paglabas mo ng bahay mo, we're bombarded with information, di ba? Ang hindi naiintindihan ng taong bayan, while your industry keeps going forward and forward with new innovations, hindi nila naiintindihan that there is the other side, which is the content. Di ba? Kung maglagay ka ng malaswa, hindi miskin gawin mo malaswa pa rin ang dating yan, di ba? Which, really, in your case, maybe you can explain that to us. Let's start with the attorney. Kayo po, what is the state first of the billboard situation in the Philippines? Kamusta na ngayon mga billboards natin?
It's going good.
Malakas, ano?
Positive and growing. In 2011 or 2010, the other spending is totaling about 13 billion.
Grabe! 13 bilyones?
No, we got only a portion of that.
Okay.
3 billion of it went to billboards.
Oh my
Now,
God.
the latest in America now, 2011, the survey, $13 billion, but 4 billion went to billboards alone.
Mas maganda yung ano nila, variance nila.
The problem here why there is an stagnation, especially in Metro Manila, because of the restriction, which is imposed by Metro Manila Authority that you cannot put up new billboards so far. In the meantime, that we are negotiating for 6 months moratorium. So there is no growth actually. So the market is being now created in the provinces.
Kalaban nyo ba MMDA?
Yes, technically, yes.
Technically.
Yes.
Tama ba ginagawa ng MMDA? How long have you been in the business? From what I understand based on your profile, you've been in this business for close to 20, 30 years.
Yeah, 30
diba?
years.
30 years ka na po eh. And you've seen the good, the bad that come with it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, ang may perception kasi ang pagdating ng bagyo, yung bumagsak. Diba? Anong sinagot nyo dun po?
Well, sir, we cannot deny that. Mayroon talagang bumagsak. Pero that's only an exception to the rule. Out of let's say 3,000 structures in Manila, only one collapsed.
So, integridad ng mga billboards natin are definitely in order.
Yes, in order.
Nasa association nyo ba yung bumagsak?
No, hindi member na yun.
Maybe you can tell, how many associations, you are the recognized Outdoor Advertising Association of the Philippines, correct?
Yes.
Meron bang iba?
There's the only one.
Kayo lang. Pero meron mga ibang billboard operators outside your association? Meron?
Yes. There are some operators who are not members of our association.
Pero...
It's very small. Out of 95%, maybe 5%.
5 lang. So everybody's under your group.
Yes.
So basically, you have the interest of the billboard operators at large. Ano problema ng MMDA? Bakit kayo kinakalaban? Ano ba naman yan?
Ang problema actually, ang tinitinang ng MMDA, yung mga lalaking billboards. Kasi wala naman talagang batas na nagbabawal yan. There's no law prohibiting the size of the billboard. So, ang gusto ng MMDA, i-regulate ang size. But wala namang batas na nagsasabi na bawal yan.
So hindi nagtatrabaho mga congressmen natin?
Frank can talk about it.
Frank, you're also with the ad board. You see both sides. You see regulation. You understand the heart of the business. I mean, nakikita mo naman negosyo nito, trabaho ito. This is employment.
Yes.
Di ba business model to na maliwanag? And you also see the other side, why it needs regulation. Kasi kayo, self-regulatory kayo ad board. Anong sitwasyon yan?
Okay, I'll give you a bit of history.
Sige po.
The Outdoor Advertising Association of the Philippines was established in 1964.
Marcos.
No, 64. Yeah.
Makapagal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Advertising Board of the Philippines, the Philippine Board of Advertisers, the predecessor of Advertising Board of the Philippines, was established in 1972. And the regulation, the law that regulates billboard is under the building code under DPWH PD 1096 in 1972. It's only one paragraph, there is section 20. And it's
Isang paragraph lang dinictate sa niya.
so
Okay.
one section maybe. So nevertheless, it was good at that time where the industry was small, and everybody was following what's good for the industry and what's good for the country. But then, as it grows bigger and more technology comes in and more operators are engaged in the business, here comes the desire, the demand for a new regulation. And our industry, Outdoor Advertising Association, has been working with legislation and the administration and, of course, the executive that we should pass an organic law specifically for billboards. Because, as I said, right now, billboards is part of the National Building Code. It's a thick book that only specifies billboards. So we have not been successful yet. We have filed our original version 7 years ago before Typhoon Milenio. And
Doon kayo binire, no? You were...
yes,
Doon kayo binire ni Miriam Santiago, if I'm not mistaken.
correct. And at that time, in fact,
Alam mo si Miriam, lahat tinitira, no?
Yeah.
Ngayon, si Senate President tinitira niya. You gotta keep this woman busy, no? Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, well, at that time, she was very critical, and we work our way, and we have come up with some understanding with her that naturally it has to be reasonable regulation, because her version was really
Too drastic, no?
yeah, too drastic, and it would eliminate the business, and it would, the small industry would completely
Maraming
be wiped
mawawalan
out.
pong trabaho talaga pagdating sa billboard.
Yeah.
How many do you reckon, more or less, mga involved dito? 1 million people? 500,000 people? I know investors, marami ako nakikita, pinapasukan na ito eh.
Yeah.
But it will definitely lose a lot of employment. Malaki na employers nyo.
Yes, hindi lang employment, pati supplies. Mga suppliers, government properties.
Downsource, ano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the property owners. Yan lang income
You're
nila
right,
talaga.
no? I wish I was one of those property owners. And laki ng income, you know? You're talking...
Yes.
Ikaw,
And
Chris,
material.
And material. You've been in the business as well, but you're actually in the proprietary side. You create, you manufacture. Manufacturing ka, kasama mo sila, no?
That's right, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may hinawakan po si Mr. Chu. Let's get on with this and introduce it. We will need a cameraman. He has with him, very quickly, I'll go off tangent. This is what we call innovation. He has actually made a static billboard. Ang pag-alam natin sa billboard, ayan, nakatingin. Yan, ito na yung iba. Okay, on the camera, yan. This is his new technology. It's called a billboard, pero animated. Ano ibig sabihin na animated? Do you explain?
Well, actually, when we say animated, it's the light are sequencing, and then to give the artwork an illusion of motion. Like what we did, like for example, yung materials na tarpaulina or yung mga stickers. Right now, paper tin lang yung teknolohiya natin, but kaya nang umilaw. Katulad nitong manok na to, pag binuklat natin itong Panaplex, ay makikita natin
Sumisindi.
ay sumisindi ang ang ilaw na yan. So minamanufacture namin itong manok shape na ilaw, which is paper tin. Ngayon pwede namin ikabit to sa billboard man or sa bus ads.
Miski
or,
malaking billboard, pwede yan?
pwede ho. Yeah,
Pwede rin.
yes.
So, kanyari, yung isa may buhok, tas pag ilaw, mawawala yung buhok, tas babalik yung buhok, mawawala yung buhok. Talbo, buhok,
Pwede.
talbo, buhok. O, diba?
Pwede. Yeah, to give it an illusion of motion. Yung ngayon, yung
motion.
yung awareness sa mga mobile consumers ay tumataas. Mas napapansin siya ngayon.
Yun ang naiiba.
Yes.
I see that a lot in the motorcycles that move all around the city, mga delivery eh.
Yes.
Umiilaw-ilaw na sa gabi, nakikita mo ba, ano yun, umiilaw. Ang mata mo, it captures the eye. But there's also a problem, maybe this can go to all three of you.
Okay.
There are new signboards along EDSA that are so bright, at night you need to put on your sunglasses. The problem is, pagpasa mo, madilim naman masyado. How is that? What is that all about? Are you with that?
No, we're not. Actually, there are many types of illuminated signs. And it just so happened that our illuminated sign or our animated signs is non-glaring.
Oh, non-glaring.
Non-glaring kami.
Pero LED na yan.
Actually, it's called EL. It's within the same family, but maganda sa kanya, non-glaring.
Non-glaring.
Oo.
Kasi yun, glaring.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that?
That's a
sir.
new technology on
Oh,
lighting.
bago
It's
eh.
LED light emitting diodes.
Pero ang liwanag.
The old technology is not controllable, but the new one, you can adjust it automatically depending on the environmental light. So dapat sa araw, talagang malakas yun. Pag hindi mo na-adjust sa gabi, maging sobra na ang
Sobra
lakas.
naman.
So somehow, there are some failures in the operation.
So innovation pa rin yan. So
Yeah.
these are still kinks and the new innovations,
Correct.
technology that's still being worked out.
Yes.
Does that fall under your regulation or do you allow the entrepreneur to siyang namamahala dyan? Does that fall under your policing sa
Yes,
AdWords?
you have started with static billboards. Some are
Yes.
small and some are big. And this is part of the replacement of the new technology. They can replace the static billboard into LEDs. So instead of showing only one product or one image,
Pwede
you
ka
can-
mag-multiple
that's
images
right.
na, no?
Yeah,
Ngayon.
yes. Or
Tsaka yung liwanag, ako lang, yung liwanag lang. But definitely, you can even show a movie, di ba? Sa
Yeah.
harap ng SM, pag dumaan ka, nakita mo, may sine na nga eh.
Yeah.
So kung nanonood ka, talagang babanggay mo sa harap mo.
Tama.
Di ba? Bang! Okay yung signboard. Sir, attorney, ang Luneta Advertising of which you belong to, which you operate now, correct? That's been around a long time. You're one of the pioneers, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
I am not one of the pioneers, but Luneta is not about 31 years in existence.
Grabe, ang tagal na rin pala.
Tagal na rin.
Tagal na. You also have all those new signboards, yung mga
Yeah,
illuminated.
I just like to share with you. I am now maintaining 3 LED, electronic billboards, in Alabang, Ayala, Alabang.
Opo.
You probably have the
Ay, sa
time.
entrance ng village namin.
Yes, I was the subject of several complaints by the homeowners. Are you staying in Alabang?
Yes, I do. I see. Well, go ahead. You talk first.
Maybe you're one of those complaints.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm maintaining that, the 3 gates. But the homeowners called my attention. There were complaints, legitimate complaints what you addressed. Yun nga, nare-reduce. Well, probably notice you passed by there, na-reduce na namin yun.
Oh, hindi na nga in the
Hindi
last.
na masyado.
Yung Pasko, bumaba na ng
Bumaba.
konti. Oo.
Nare-reduce naman yun. Madali lang eh.
Pero yung daytime, tama po siya na attorney. Yung dapat naman daytime, talagang liwanagan mo, kundi hindi mo
Hindi
makikita eh.
makikita.
Pero pag gabi naman, ang sakit naman sa mata.
correct.
Oo.
Normally, parang TV, may prime time. Di ba?
Tama nga naman
Sa
yan.
umaga, babagsan mo. After that, shut off mo na yan.
Ah.
Then probably 6 o'clock in the afternoon, babagsan mo na rin yan. Kasi papunta na ang mga tao.
Let's talk about the politics of this. Miriam Santiago, the very, never mind, no description. She went against the billboards because it was a popular emotion of the people, yung bumagsak yung sa Milenyo. Dalawa ata bumagsak, isa sa Makati, isa sa South Super Highway. Pero yung pagbabagsak nun, is it the integrity yung mahina, yung bakal, or hindi natanggal yung tarpaulin, di ba? Kasi nasasalo yung hangin eh. But you know, then again, Milenyo also caused a lot of death and destruction. You know, we don't, parang natanggal yung attention sa tubig, yung flooding, di ba? Yung napinsala talaga. But ito naman in this case, when that fell, sinong fault doon? Yung integrity ng structure o yung operator, hindi niya binaba, hindi niya inakyat yung... Kasi ngayon I see it, no? May bagyo. I think in less than 6 hours, yung mga billboard, di ba naro-roll up bigla eh. Whose fault would that be?
I think the operators.
Operators. So,
Hindi nyo natanggal yung tarpaulin eh. Kasi
naiwan.
dapat tanggalin mo kagad yan eh. Yung tarpaulin kasi yan ang magkukos ng collapse eh. Hindi nyo natanggal, so nag-collapse yun. The operators.
So it's not, pero the integrity, yung bumagsak yun, wala namang kaya na hangin ganun kalakas, di ba?
Yes.
Yes.
Miski ganun gawin mo, not possible.
Yeah.
Even kung malaking building, sasaluhin mo yung hangin, talagang bibigay rin yan, di ba?
Even the Moralco Post, must remember, maraming tumumba, nag-iisa lang. Yung malakas talagang hangin.
Yeah.
Malakas talaga. I remember sa lakas-lakas ng hangin. Yung umalya siya, when she went out in the press and she got very popular because she was really condemning the state of the billboards.
Yeah.
That was not good for your industry, of course. Di ba? Ganun nangyari. Now here comes MMDA, the wise Tolentino man, na pinakikialaman na kayo, if I'm not mistaken. Di ba? Parang ganun. If I'm not mistaken, about a year ago, He went on a rampage. Siya mismo nagbaklas. Wala nang permit, right? Umikot ng EDSA. Nagbaklas na lang. Is that correct, sir? Di ba?
Yeah.
Kawawa naman yung mga operators nun.
Because
Or tama ginawa
he
nila.
has no power at all because the power to dismantle belongs to Public Works. But he got a memorandum
Nasa
deputizing
PNP.
him to function like the Public Works in certain areas. So that was his authority. He started billboard back.
Wala kayong laban dun.
We cannot do anything. We cannot fight the government.
You cannot fight the
That's
government.
why we were...
We should fight government! My God, it's wrong!
That's
It is our... Wait. Baka hindi natin bayan to.
we went to court. That's why we went to court.
Di ba parang narinig ko sabi ng presidente, tayo ang boss eh. Bakit tayo sumusunod sa kanya? Hindi ba dapat sumunod sa atin? But that's politics. We're talking billboards. Let's go back to business. Where do you stand now with your regulation, with the law the way it is? There's only one section that was been attributed to the billboards. Where do you see it going now?
The stand of our association with Frank here and Chris, member also, is that we recognize regulation by the government.
Yeah, okay.
It will be chaos if there are no regulations about billboards. There should be parameter wherein billboards can operate.
Thank you.
But at the same time, the government should recognize also that billboards operators are legitimate business and should be allowed to survive and to grow with the minimum participations of the government. In any hand, there should be a balanced. We recognize, it should be recognized by the government. There should be a regulation, reasonable regulations. The size, we are open for negotiation now. Actually, we have now a MOA. We signed with the industry involving ad board, the PANA, the PORES, the MSAP, which is the buyer, the OOAP, and MMDA. We are now starting to
together.
prop the guidelines. We have already 2 sessions meeting. We have not gone yet to the area of sizes because it's a learning process yet. We are defining what are the parameters, what are the things to be involved, what should be excluded in the rules and regulation. But this is only per Metro Manila. Whatever that will be agreed upon or arrived decision by the working committee should be submitted to the Metro Manila mayors for approval.
I see a lot of lobbying. I see a lot of politics.
Yes.
Gentlemen, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to have to take a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we'll not only continue to discuss the nuances about billboards, but let's find out why it is billboards are effective and why we require it, if we even think that we do. Can you imagine EDSA, the SLEX, or even the NLEX? Close your eyes and try to imagine, walang billboard. If your headlights don't work, you'll be dead in the water. Now,
In darkness.
if anything, other than the darkness, the colors, the portraits of nice pictures, you know, ang problema kasi yung advertising is ibang issue yan eh. But there are good signs that make you think, that wake you up, and that keep you company on the streets. I mean, punta ka na lang ng Hong Kong, my gosh, why do you think it looks so great? Go to Las Vegas, go to Macau. It's a city of lights. It never sleeps. Unless gusto mo natutulog ka, may driver ka, maayos. Eh kung wala kang driver, ikaw nagmamaneho, madilim, nag-iisa ka, baka mamaya may kumuusap sa likod ng kotse mo, wala ka namang kausap. Wala ka namang kasakay. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll discuss more of these issues and the intricate values as to why we have to try and understand this issue. We'll be right back.